Yeah.
As you look towards the horizon, can you kind of pinpoint some of the challenges and opportunities that you're kind of foreseeing happening in the future?
Um, I think for us right now, I think the biggest challenge that we've been dealing with probably the last year and a half, and I still see as a challenge today, but I'm hoping it's going to improve in the near term is interest rate. So the interest rate environment, makes it tougher right now just because of the costs of building for us, like the holding costs and carrying costs are a little bit higher. So again, it's definitely a challenge that we're dealing with right now. We've had good luck still, building this kind of product and still having good success with it, even though. And then opportunity wise, I would say with build to rent specifically, fortunately or unfortunately, I think that our society is going to continue to shift towards a more of a renter nation than a home owner nation. Uh, I see build to rent is just a lot of opportunity there for that. There used to be a bridge where you were a young person, you would rent an apartment just long enough to kind of get stable income, and then you would buy your first home. I mean, that's even for me, like that's the path that I took. And I see less and less people taking that path today. But I think this same people, like even though they don't want to go out and buy their first home, they still get ready to kind of graduate from an apartment to a house. And so I see a lot of opportunity with the build to rent specifically because of that. The townhome units and the single family houses, they definitely don't feel like living in an apartment. So I've only lived in an apartment once in my life. I will personally never live in another one unless I absolutely have to. And so, but I would have no problem living in like a duplex unit that's a nice, 3-2 with a small fenced in backyard because it feels like a house. It's like if I had to rent, it's the kind of stuff we're building is something that I would want to live in. And again, it's just a lot of these people, and we see it with some of our tenant class, it's just they could buy a house if they wanted to, or they could buy where they're living at. It's just they don't want to. They don't want to deal with it, or they don't want to deal with the process. And so it's like, even though I may not agree with it, it's just I think we're shifting more towards that. So that's why I continue to see opportunity with the build to rent specifically, and we'll continue to push on that ourselves.
Yeah, and I think a big part of that is just generationally. Like I'm part of that generation that we grew up in a time period. We graduated college when there was no jobs, right? So we graduated
Yeah,
in debt, no jobs. And then you also see a lot of your parents, aunts, and uncles lose their homes. So the idea for a lot of the younger generation, younger, not, I mean, we're, we're in our mid 30s and 40s now, but our generation just saw our parents lose their properties. So a lot of us, and not only that, but we don't buy stuff anymore. The things we buy are more disposable. We're looking for more experiences. We like more flexibility. So we care more about the lifestyle that we can live as opposed to actually owning assets, which again, to your point, is a mistake. I'm teaching my kids to own assets. It's the only way to build wealth in this country, especially with inflation and everything else. You have to own the asset. But just realistically, a lot of people don't want to do it. We're also a generation that's not good with our hands. We don't want to fix anything. So
yeah.
if we can pass it on to someone else, that's what we're going to do.